Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Val and I will work on the vintage watch today. It's based on the classic Swiss movement model ETA 1080, which was produced in 1950, almost 75 years ago, and it still works. This particular watch has name Ruflex and it is a 21 jewels version. There are other writings on the dial stating that it is waterproof, has unbreakable spring and shock protection. And at the dial's bottom is a confirmation of the Swiss origin. The case has all signs of age and usage, but crown is not in bad shape. Turning over and finding the signs of a heavy impact on the case back seems like someone had a very hard time of opening the case. There are engravings about Swiss-made, waterproof, shock protection, anti-magnetic and stainless steel material. The Ruflex name is in the center and some 77 numbered there. Is it a serial number? If it is, then the watch was manufactured most likely exactly in 1950. Let's check if stem can operate the hands. It works fine, but hands are moving too freely. I think the cannon pinion will need some work. I am winding up the spring so I can use a time grapher to see the watch performance before servicing. It shows not bad numbers, the rate is slightly down, the amplitude is on the good side and the beat error is not that big. With crown up position results are different, which shows the need of the watch servicing. Opening the case. There are two records of service inside of the case back and dated back to 1979 or 89 and 1993. Movement itself has a writing of Ruflex watch, and we will later see also the model of ETA 1080 in a balance assembly area. I'll release power from the mainspring so I can start disassembling without worrying about damaging any delicate parts inside. With the mainspring completely unwound, the balance wheel stops moving, releasing the screw that holds the stem and removing the stem. Taking movement out of the case, and checking on the crystal. It has some multiple scratches but no major damages, and I hope I will be able to restore the crystal and avoid replacement. Now removing the hands. They are made from copper or something like that, some similar material, and have no lume on them. I think I can polish hands and use again. Removing shock protection ring, it also serves as a movement holder. There are two small screws on the sides that hold the dial. Now dial can be lifted up. There is nothing written on its internal side. There is a missing friction washer on the top of the outer wheel. I will fix it. I want to remove the balance wheel assembly before going further. It's held by a single screw. Next is to remove the pallet fork bridge. And the pallet fork. It looks good, no visible issues. Now goes the crown wheel held by the screw with the left thread. Usually this screw has more than one line on its head, but this one looks like a regular screw. There is a small washer between the crown wheel and its post. Now is the ratchet wheel. Removing the click. And the click spring. I am turning movement over to remove a cannon pinion. Yes, it feels like it has less than normal friction, and I will correct this later on. While I am on this side, I can disassemble a keyless works. This is a setting lever spring and cover, and this is a setting lever. Removing the yoke spring. It jumped out, but not far away. And now the yoke. Unscrewing two very small screws holding the minute wheel cover plate. And removing the minute wheel and the setting wheel. Going back to the wheel tray inside and starting to remove the barrel bridge. It is held by two screws. Now taking out the mainspring barrel. Removing the screw that holds the setting lever. And starting to disassemble the wheel train bridge. Many train wheel ruby pivot holes in this movement have covers held by tiny screws. I will take care of those a bit later. Seconds wheel. I think this is the third wheel. Escape wheel. The center wheel has its own dedicated bridge held by two screws. And center wheel stuck. It definitely has a dried out oil there. Somehow watch was working, but slower than normal. Now on the dial side I started to remove those small covers on the top of the ruby pivot holes. There are 3 of those. Now time for taking out the balance wheel cap jewels. There is a tiny brass spring in a triangle form. It holds the jewels and I am removing it using a fine needle and a tweezers. At this point everything is disassembled and I am returning a balance wheel assembly to the main plate in preparation for cleaning. Also I am removing the cap jewels from this side as well. Now taking out a small plate that covers a ruby jewel on the central wheel bridge. And also removing covers from 2 jewels on the wheel train bridge. Opening the main spring barrel. And taking out the arbor. And the mainspring. Here are the jewels under the microscope. They are pretty dirty and need a good cleaning as well as other parts of this watch. That's all for this part of the video. In the second part I will work on cleaning, assembling and lubricating, and fixing the issues I found during disassembling. Thanks for watching. As always I ask to give the video a like if you liked it, leave comments and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, goodbye.